Going live. Going live.
Hey, it says we're live.
Does it?
It does. It showed up on the little screen and said we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh wait, hold on.
Right?
It said we're having trouble streaming to your destination.
No, it's not.
It
We're
is
on.
possible the stream was ended or deleted on the
No,
destination.
that's an old one. Hold
No,
on.
it just popped up.
I'm going on now. Guys, if you're watching, this is hilarious. This is how we do our lives. We're dumb.
It would not be alive if we didn't have some kind of technical
Every time.
issue. That's what makes us so wonderful.
I mean, I have it here. It says it's live. Well, we're going to keep going anyway. I don't have any errors on my side. So anyway, look, I'm looking at Facebook on my end, and we're like live. So
really?
Anyway,
I don't see it in the group.
What do you mean?
I don't see it in the Photo Booth Network.
Hold on, I'm going on the Photo Booth Network now.
It doesn't look like it's showing up.
Well, that's crazy.
That's just crazy talk. Facebook doesn't like us anymore.
Well, let's try it one more time.
We used to be so cool.
I'm going to try it one more time. I'm gonna end the stream, and then we're going to redo another one. This is crazy. Well, Facebook has been getting nuts.
True.
With this, so it should be fun. All right, let me end this. Oh, you know what? Okay, I got it. I just have to hit go live.
Oh, we were live.
There's another button.
Oh, okay.
Now it's starting.
Okay.
Hold on. There we go. I think we're doing it now.
Are we?
This is great. Yeah, we should be live.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 seconds in. 9, 8,
seconds.
7, 6.
Hey, that's about how long I last, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I've got a phone set up here, so now I can look at posts and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right?
Good Lord. So anyway, hi everybody.
New technology guys can't even get technology to work for some reason.
Well, that's why we have backup, and I've got my phone right here in case that didn't work. Literally sitting right here. It's like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to use this. Well, we got it. So anyway, we're here, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Events. This is the crazy time of year. April, May, June, absolutely nuts coming up. I stocked up on paper, so I wanted to start off. Yes, I panic buyed. I purchased. I went and stocked up. I went to Imaging Spectrum. I called them up because the tariffs are happening, and well, I've got a lot of events coming, right?
Yeah.
So I stocked up. I got a ton of cases, so I'm good on paper for a while. I highly recommend that. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten calls from people in the area. It's like, hey, do you have paper? I'm out. I'm like, hey, sure, I got it. So it's another reason to have extra paper in stock. But yeah, the tariffs, that's been a topic on the boards a little bit. The world, yeah. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy for another few months. I mean, look, it's going up and down. We got James Trivelis here watching, by the way. What's up, James? Stephen Perparian.
And James, Clark, who's not going to be affected by the tariffs because he owns an American company.
Yeah, he does. And look, he's calling you. You just said earlier you don't get calls, and now you're getting a call. Look at that.
That's actually another friend of ours, Joe Ward, calling me.
Oh, cool. Awesome. But yeah, they got the tariffs happening and stock market's going crazy. I don't think we need to panic. I mean, we're all pretty much priced to be profitable, so there should be some room to wiggle. And if you need to raise your prices a little bit, you just raise your prices a little bit if you see you're actually incurring extra costs, right? It's running a business. Right. But you don't go back to your current clients that you booked for whatever price and says, oh, because of tariffs, I have to raise my price, because your contract's your contract. That's locked in. Now, getting stuff from China is going to be a little interesting. So we know all of our backdrop folks that have sources out there, or even photo booth companies that have sources out there. I don't know what the threshold is. I think it's $800. No, is it all? Do we know if it's all the stuff that's being shipped in from China, or is it just a certain threshold level wise? What is it?
From what I've read, it's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Okay. if anybody watching knows better than us and can quote on what that actually is, let us know, because hey, we're all sharing this information. We all got to know what the heck's happening. I saw a few other posts, about it, and we'll just see. So that's one thing. It's tax season, right? So we're all feverishly getting our taxes in.
I have to say, I got mine done early this year. So a lot of the companies that I did white labels for were actually really good in getting me, the stuff for them. And I was able to take care of my staff and got all them taken care of pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
I had a call last night.
Not that bad.
Yeah, I had a call last night. One of my guys was like, I need all the locations that we're at last year, because I got to do up all my mileage. I'm like, well, it's in the app. So I have an app, right, for my staff. It's called Get Sling or Sling, and it's free. And it's really easy. I go in, I can use the browser to set the schedules, and they've got an app on their phone, and so they can look at when they're scheduled, the location, and all that kind of stuff, and it saves that in their app. So I said, just go to the app. But as a nice guy, I went to the app and I downloaded all the locations, so you can get the mileage, because you can get, as a tax write-off, the mileage for your travels, which is good.
Well, that's cool. What's the name of the app again? You'll have to put that in the follow-up.
Yeah, so I'll actually go to it now.
Because I've been seeing, some people ask, what software people use for their scheduling.
Yeah, I'll share my schedule. My schedule. I can share my schedule. I don't care. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. It's called Get Sling.
Get Sling, SLING?
.com. Yep. Okay. So let me go ahead and .com. So this is it right here. Now I don't have a ton of need for all the extra bells and whistles.
Sure.
But this is it right here. It's called getsling.com. And so I don't know if I'm able to do it on this computer or not. Let's see here. Yeah, here I am. You log in, and then you can go ahead and you can take a look at. I wasn't expecting to talk about this tonight, but you can take a look at your schedule, right? So here's the schedule, and I've got the events, and people are assigned. You can do DJ, you can do photo booth director, whatever category you want to set. You can set different roles.
Okay.
So you have employees. You go back to your dashboard, and you can click on the employees here. You can add an employee, right? And so when you add somebody in, you put in their phone number, if you want to put their address or whatever, their email address. As soon as you click on invite, their phone is going to get a text with a link to to then get the Sling app.
Oh, right? Wow.
Yeah. And so then this is like the mobile version, but on the app, they'll be able to see, for example, on the 4th, I have myself here at this event. It's got the address. It's got my times on it. And if I click on the address in the app, it actually gives you a link to Google Maps, right? Or Apple Maps, 1 and 2. So they can just click on it and immediately they get directions. So it's really cool. Yeah. So Get Sling. There's a nice app that you guys can use.
I know there's other apps into like their Outlook calendar or Google Calendar or whatever.
I think you can. I haven't gone that far. I'm doing so many different things that I'd have to probably spend a little bit more time. And maybe I have to do the pay version for it to do that. I'm not sure. So, but at least for the phone, and if I assign somebody, as long as they have push notifications allowed, like they'll get a ding on their phones. Oh, I just got assigned to an event, right?
Right.
And so, and I can leave some of them blank, so they can take a look at count and they can claim an event.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's pretty cool for that.
That's very cool.
So, yeah. And speaking of which, I will probably just add you to the system because you're doing an event with me in June at the Please Touch Museum.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, we've got the regular photo booth, we've got the DJ.
Touch, right?
No, okay. Not. It's for kids, Dave. You know this.
Oh, well, there's not going to be kids there.
No, but there will be. It's an adult. It's for the Alzheimer's Association annual gala. So
Where?
just like we did
What? Who's it
a
for?
couple years ago.
Who's
Wait,
it
what are we
for?
doing? What? um, yeah. So I'll put you on there, so that way you can get a chance to see how that works, and
Yeah, it's very cool.
it's
I'm
really
anxious to see it.
yeah.
And look, we
Alicia,
shared
don't
information of something that people were looking for.
right an app where you can use,
An
and
app.
it's
An
been
app.
shared out there before.
And how much did that cost, Art?
Let me do my calculator. That would be carry the two. Nothing. Free.
Wow.
Yeah. There is a paid version for like more stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but for
just
somebody
for
who just
scheduling.
has, one or two attendants, or three or
Yeah.
four people, I'm sure that
I think
probably works really well.
I think you get up to 15 or 20 that you can add into it at the free version. So, but that's cool. I did see it going back to the tariffs thing. Just reminded myself, Alicia Garcia from Lush. She actually posted an Instagram, I believe,
Okay.
saying to not worry about the prices on her props, because it's like there's a threshold with Canada because she's located in Canada. So for those of you guys who are watching, you're safe in and out of Canada as long as it's under $800.
Okay.
Apparently, that's what she said. So that's news out of Canada, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that.
Also free. The news was free. Steve Preparian just commented. He said, I got paid more for doing a white label this weekend than what I charge. I'm too cheap. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You know what? Doing a white label can actually inspire you to raise your prices, because then you kind of get an idea of what your market's really pricing. We know we've got a lot of startup companies out there that are charging $100 an hour, or $299 for an all day, which is fine. But then when you get to a certain level, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. That's great, Steve. So now you got to raise those prices a little bit.
Well, and I had someone who never did a white label for me this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Now I have like a document that I send to people that do white label for me, saying, hey, please understand that you're doing the job for me. Don't be posting, your stuff, on your feeds, and she did post some stuff, and I messaged her and asked her to remove it, and she was very apologetic. And
well, did she tag you?
No, she didn't.
Well, okay. I was gonna say it's okay if they tag you, right?
Well, if she would have asked prior to posting it, I mean, really, she did a terrific job, like putting her reel together.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fantastic. It's just, unfortunately, it was all of my event that she was
now
posting.
Did you send her that document prior to the event?
Yeah.
And she
when
I
booked her. Yeah, when I booked her. And then she went back and kind of read it, and then she's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right. So it was a TLDR, too long didn't read document, which she didn't read.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like 3 or 4
Shorten it up.
Yeah.
Just not 2 sentences. Don't post shit. You're working for me.
Well, unfortunately, my lawyer doesn't look at it quite like that. So
yeah, no, it's understandable.
I'm pretty sure I paid him by the word, and that's why it's 3 pages long.
Okay, that makes sense. I had somebody working with me this weekend, and it was sort of a white label. Like I had the event, and it's someone local that is a really good friend of mine, and she's awesome. And I was like, hey, if you want to work some events with me, I'll show you what I do, and teach you a couple things. And she came to the event. She rocked it. She learned some things. Like she learned how to configure her printer to cut, right? She has an RX1 HS, and she's like looking over at the printer. And she's like, it does that? I'm like, yes, it does that. How do you do that? I'm like, so I went in and showed her how to do it.
Right.
But she made some great content, but she asked me, she's like, can I post this? I'm like, yeah, go for it. She's like, as
Right.
long it's like I didn't even say as long as you tag me. She's like, well, I'll make sure I tag you. I'm like, awesome. And she did a
Right.
great job. So but it reached, right? Because she has a good following on
Right.
Instagram. And so, and I hope she gets some business out of it. And
Sure.
if I get some business out of it, that's fine. I'm cool with
Right.
that.
So I was actually, it's funny because I had someone doing white labeling for me, and I was actually doing white labeling for someone else.
I saw you were doing with Chris.
Well, it wasn't for Chris. Chris and I were the white labels for another company. He just happened to
Oh,
be the DJ,
okay.
and I did the 360.
Okay.
So, but it just so happened that we happened to be there at the same event, working the same event for the same company.
Yeah. I did a white label on Friday.
Yeah,
It's a lot of white labeling going on. It's just it's fun.
yeah,
I don't I they did this the strip for me. All they had to do
yep.
was just put it in my software. Um, and speaking of white labels, that's another thing that we constantly see um on the group is people asking, looking for a white label, right?
Hmm.
But there's a site for that,
There is.
and I'm going to show it. I think we had them on previously, but for those of you who are watching, always asking, I need a white label in this town, I need a white label in that town. We had Peyton Vincent on, and now Viv is on with them, helping them out too.
Hmm.
This can really help alleviate you guys out there who are looking for a white label, and a safe way. This is it right here. I'm going to show this right here. Yep. Welcome to White Label Experts. You can go on there and post what you're looking for, and there are vetted companies like ourselves and like Dave Stevenson who then can say, hey, I've got this opening up, I've got some staff coming up this Saturday. Ooh, here's an event. It's in my area. Yes, I have this type of equipment. Yes, I've worked with this type of software. Sign up, and then you two are safely working together, and the payments are kind of like held in escrow, right? So you don't
Yep.
have to worry about someone not paying you after an event or chasing them down, you know, 9 months later. Like, unlike you, Dave, like are the lucky one with Hipster, but there are, I'm going to
Well,
guess, maybe 100 people out there who still haven't been paid by them, but you wouldn't have to worry about getting caught in that situation.
well, and truthfully, between you and I mean, I would if I didn't know the people I know, I
Hmm.
would have probably been just like everybody else,
Yeah.
But I knew I was able to throw a little bit of power behind, my situation. And
Yeah.
I actually stepped in and helped a few others get paid too that had
Yeah.
reached out to me, you
It's
know.
just, but people can avoid that whole process by signing up for something like this.
Yep.
It's like, where you can easily find out who's in your market, who works with your equipment, and also know that there's some vetting process with these companies, and also know that the transactions are going to be crisp and clean.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, White Label Experts is going to make a little bit off the top, but look, that's with anything else. They've put together a platform that handles all this stuff. They have overhead to manage this type of platform, just like our software companies,
Right.
Curator, SnapPick, Booth.events, Zentech, uh, TouchPix, LumaBooth, LA Photo Party. It's like the list goes on, right? They have overhead to manage the software, the systems that go behind this that makes our jobs easier.
Right.
So this is another thing that I wanted to kind of remind people. There's stuff out there that can help you with that. The white labels, yeah. White
What's
labels are
that?
fun. White labels are fun. I like them.
They are. And if you get in with, a couple companies in your area, I mean, you can stay pretty busy.
Hmm. Yeah. Now I had a discussion like kind of around that. The one of the people I was working with this weekend
Hmm.
was kind of be like, yeah, but like that could have been my gig. I could have
Right.
charged that same amount. I could have gotten it. And I kind of broke it down for them. And I said, yeah, you probably could have, but you didn't get the lead, right? You got to get the lead, right? You have to, like the companies like myself and hundreds of others across the US, we spend time on our marketing. We spend time on building our website, building relationships, paying money for Google ads, like money out of my pocket. Like, so you shouldn't get upset.
And I've used, I mean, like a lot of the ad money. I mean, I've gotten calls from people because, you know, they did a search for photo booths around our area. And this goes back to your SEO that you've talked about many times, is making sure that you keep your SEO updated, because, you know, I was found by them doing searches.
Yeah. Remember that's it. That even like the SEO is free, right? But it's still your time to work on the SEO isn't free, and time is money, right? That's still a level of effort that you have to put forward to get that free quote unquote lead. I spend almost every day working on my site and working on my SEO or working on my Google ads, at least a minimum of 15 minutes to a half hour a day, every day, except for like when I'm doing an event, obviously like on weekends. But you got to do it. And if you don't know how to do it yourself, read. I mean, the stuff is out there. There's tutorials on YouTube.
There's tons of YouTube videos. Actually, even in the archive of our Photo Booth Talk YouTube pages, there's some great SEO. We've had some people, you know, talk about it. That's on here.
Photo Booth Network. I mean, I even did one video for the Photo Booth magazine that literally shows people how to blog. Like I recorded my session. Like, so if you want to go through our videos on the Photo Booth magazine on YouTube, and you'll find a video where I literally sit down in front of a computer, I write a blog, I post it on my website, and then 4 hours later, I'm ranking on the first page of Google. 4 hours, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, not 6 months, not a year, within 4 hours. And I've got a few other people that have come to me and they've actually, because I run roll up ads, hired them, and same thing, right? Ranked in 4 hours, right? Some of them take a couple days based on their site, but these are simple little things that people can do on their own and not spend $1,000, $2,000 a month to do. Right. Now, there are some levels of effort that you need to hire an SEO agency that is going to charge $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And that's for if you're in a very competitive city. If you're in Philadelphia, which I'm in the market and I'm still trying to crack it myself, right? New York City, Los Angeles, Toronto, Canada, Dallas, Texas, any of these major metropolises, that's where you probably should look at hiring a larger SEO agency, because there is a lot more elbow grease and effort that goes into that highly competitive market. But these small little towns that most of us are in, it's not that hard to get ranked on the first page. It just isn't. So anyway, yeah. So your site, you had some SEO. What are you going to do anything with your site coming soon? Any work that you've got? I saw you commented on a template.
Yeah, actually, I'm every like couple of years I completely redo my site. You know, kind of reset the metrics and things like that. And you know, I saw somebody had posted some photo booth website templates, and went on, and it looked pretty nice. It had, you know, a breakout of pretty much everything that I have and that I do, and I think it was based off of Divi, which is what I use now for my current site.
Okay.
And my current site, believe it or not, was a template from Cherie at Photo Booth Talk.
Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Then now she doesn't do that anymore. Is that just something she did early on?
I don't think she does. I don't think she does. But I mean, it's been a great site.
Yeah, it looks good. I do like it. But yeah, you can use a refresh. I mean, you have so much content. You still have like, which is a great picture. The stock photography picture you have on your
Yeah.
website is still really nice. Let me just go. Let's go. Let's go to your site. I'm all over the place today. Why? Because it's a random episode. That's what it is.
That's it.
Smile Pod.
It's
There it is.
Randa Wednesday.
All right, let's do this. So I'm going to remove this from the stage, and we're going to share a different one here. Stop screen. Let's give you a quick tutorial or a quick review of your site.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you my thoughts on top. And there's other people that are watching that are good at SEO too. So forgive me for what I'm about to do. All right.
He's gonna tear his partner apart on live stream.
Yeah. No, so this is Dave's site here. And as you can see, there's stock photography on it. And there's nothing wrong with stock photography. Nothing whatsoever. It looks great.
And the reason I kept that photo is because you can see the umbrella in the sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that that's kind of cool.
It is cool. Absolutely.
I mean, and I used to date all three of those models, and they gave me permission. So
at the same time?
Well, they didn't know it at the time.
Figures. You crazy Dave. But look at your site. So, when I talk to people, the first thing that I say is your site should be visual. Why? Because we're a visual industry. We're in the photo booth industry. We're about pictures and glitz and glam. You need to show that. I can't tell you how many sites I've seen that when you get there, there's like just a big fat logo and lots of white space and lots of text, and there's like no photos. I'm like, that's like having a used car site or even a brand new car site, but no pictures of cars on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you've got that. You've hit the nail on the head with the first thing you see is a fantastic image. A couple of years ago, I told you to change your title tag, and you did, right? Yep. So this, for others, what is the title tag? The title tag is the first thing at the top of your browser, right here. When you mouse over, it's the tab and the words inside of it. That is essentially telling the most important thing, or the first thing that Google looks at when ranking your website. It's like the cover of a book, right? It is the title on a cover of a book. And I have an analogy for that where I say, take a book to the library that doesn't have a title on it and hand it to the librarian and tell them to put it on a shelf somewhere in the library, and they'll think you're nuts because there's no title on it, right? If your title tag just says home, well, they're going to think they're going to put this website in the housing section or about homes, right?
Right.
So, but what you've done, which I told you to do, is change it to photo booth rental Reading, PA, right? With the other stuff behind it.
Yep.
Which is telling Google the most important thing about my website is that I'm a photo booth rental company and that I'm located in Reading, Pennsylvania. And so Google says, yep, all right, that's awesome. We're going to put you in the photo booth rental section in the Reading, Pennsylvania category, right? And so within days after you doing that, you start ranking on the first page of Google.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Then it's visual. You have a phone number at the top, which is so crucial for two reasons, because you've got a phone number that not only lets people contact you, because if they want to call you, they don't have to find where's Waldo, right, to find your number. It's right there in front of them. They can contact you. Yep. But the other thing is your area code 484, right, is a local area code, which does send a little bit of a local signal to Google saying, yes, we are local. Right. So that's another thing that you've done. You've hit the nail on the head, and that's why you're ranking on Google.
And I think Google will allow you to click on that and dial right through your browser, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. If you're on your mobile phone, that's probably clickable.
Yep.
Your email address is there. That's good. And your socials, I'm sure they go to there, right?
They're supposed to. I think I need to
find out. Let's find out. This should be iSmile Pod Instagram. Yep, that's I'll Smile. I was hoping it was going to go to the right Instagram. Let's go back to iSmile Pod, right? Did I stop sharing the screen?
You did.
Yeah. Okay, I'll share it again. I'm going to go there. Let's go over here. It's going to present, because when I clicked out to Instagram, it like said, okay, that's where you're at. And I tried to get out. I should have hit the back button.
Right.
Should have, but I didn't. Okay. So you got that. You got a good title tag. You've got great imagery, and imagery is more for convincing people to contact you. But then you've got an easy way to contact, which is at the top. Next is you've got some good content, right? Just some general content. Google likes to see if there's text on there. You've got a form, easy to find form there at the bottom of the page. You've got categories of different offerings that you've got: a photo booth, a gift photo booth, an aisle smile roamer. I know you do a 360.
I do. I have to add that, believe it or not.
Mhm.
A lot of people just find me through, I guess, posts and things like that I have.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have to add that 360 page to it.
Yeah, you got you got some broken stuff here, so you're gonna want to get that fixed.
Yep.
But yeah, so just those are some just general things that you've done that anybody should be able to do. Change your title tag, add a phone number at the top. At least start with that.
Yep.
These are some of the things that these SEO agencies, will do in the very beginning. So why not take care of that before they do, and just give them the harder stuff to do, right? So anyway, nice site, Dave. I hope you get that, get what you want out of the next design.
Yeah, we'll see. I always look at something creative, because that's what we also have to be creative in our own way with our websites to draw people in, because there's only so many different styles of booths and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, and we just got a comment from SEO expert Peter Spence. What's up, Peter? He says work on your SEO often, so he agrees with that.
Right.
And then if you don't know what to do, you can reach out to Peter Spence. So he commented on this. You can always reach out to Peter. He's good at SEO, really good.
Well, and he also, if you are in the Photo Booth Network, he posts a couple times a week little SEO tips. Tips. Definitely do a search for his name and his posts in the group. And there's some really good stuff that he's posted.
He did a I think it was in the Chit Chat group, Sharon's group. It was cool. He was like walking through New York City. I think it was New York, Peter. I think maybe Brooklyn, and you're just talking about Google Business Profiles. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you go to Sharon's group, Chit Chat Photo Booth, then I think the live video's on there. It's really cool. Really, really cool. But yeah, he's always got tips coming out.
I just did a live chat with her the other day.
I saw. I was jealous.
Well, I popped into her live stream because I got notifications because we're friends.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I got like this invite to join her live stream. So I'm like, oh, okay. Next thing you know, I'm popping up on the live stream with her. So it was really cool. Yeah, it's always nice to catch up with.
I wanted to fast forward to where you're at, but like the controls on my phone wouldn't let me fast forward for some reason.
Right.
So
but we talked about some good stuff too. Some personal stuff, but we also talked, about industry stuff too.
Yeah, she's been redoing her garage, like reorganizing. Yes. I know. So I saw that in the background. So she looked like she was getting into it. So I got to go back and watch that.
She was ready, that's for sure.
And Sketchbots, right? So you're coming over to get those.
Yep.
You got an event on May 3rd, a nice prom, which is great timing, because I finally reached out to Al and said, all right, I'm ready to dive back into this now that I have some time.
Right.
And I re-updated the software on the Sketchbots. Now I don't have the new fancy platforms, the auto feed, the auto loading ones. I just haven't gotten around to getting those yet, but I have the Nanotape ones, and I had to redo the Nanotape. So I redid the Nanotape 2 nights ago. So those are fresh and ready to go so that the paper sticks and doesn't flop around when it's writing. It's great. I mean, the Sketchbots, I would say are a little bit more, at least mine, are just more accurate than they ever have been. So it's great. And when I opened up the box, Dave, there was your sketch from 3 years ago or 2 years ago, staring at me. So I still have your original sketch that we did.
I'll follow you everywhere, Art.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking out the sketchbots again. I need to update my page on my site. That's something that I'm going to do. That's next. And then I got just inspired by Jason Whaley. He's really good at pushing out emails every so often to his email list that shows just some of the latest stuff that he's doing, which is another thing that I encourage everybody to do is compile your email list, and whether it's free or paid, go to MailChimp and don't spam people and send it like every week and every day. Maybe like once a month or once every 2 months or 6 months, just here and there, I think is a good cadence. But I'm going to try and do the same thing. Like I'm going to take my 3 latest things and email those out to like my past clients and see if that can gain some traction. What are some of the things that you do with your past client? How are you reaching out to your you've got contacts.
I do quarterly, like a quarterly newsletter type, it's like a 1-page thing, some different articles about different types of industry stuff, as well as, offerings that, we now have or whatever, or have access to,
So when's your next one going out?
It will be in June.
So you're waiting until June to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Because I just did the last one last month.
Okay. What did you put in it? Like which services did you highlight in that one?
So I did the 360.
Okay.
Because it's still, a lot of people don't know that we have them. And the roaming's very big for corporate stuff and for galas and things like that. I've taken it to even just like events, like bigger events that are just booking the booth.
Yeah.
I'll bring the roamer and just walk around for an hour during cocktails with the roamer.
Yeah.
And show it off, and people absolutely love it. They're very into it.
That's something that I think is an underestimated weapon in the photo booth industry is the roamer. Yeah, it's been around for a while. But a lot of people still haven't seen it. A lot of people still don't know what it is. They're used to the traditional photo booth with the strips or the prints. And every time I take out that roamer, that's when people are like, still, ooh, what is that? Bring that over here.
Right.
And that's also when the of all the services that I offer, that's the one that gets me the most people asking for business cards.
Yep.
Is that roamer.
Well, and the nice thing is so on when they go to share it, and the text that they get, I have my logo on the gallery for some of them. So they ask for the card. I'm like, well, it's right here. As soon as you get your text, my contact information will be right there.
Yeah.
Or I'll put it on the overlay in the corner, like the phone number or website, so, but it's only with customers that, that I get approval from, I'll put it on. Yeah. But I also tell people, listen, you can download your video then from our main website, because I upload to the main website. I use SmugMug, for all my events. When I remember to upload them to SmugMug, I should say.
Oh yeah, that's something I'm pretty I'm crazy about. So I mean, sometimes even the same night when I get home, I just can't. It's an itch that I've got to scratch. I immediately go download all my photos, and they're going on the SmugMug either that night or by the next day at the latest. But yeah, the roamer. The trading card thing. A lot of people have been talking about it, and it's awesome. It's just so funny to see just kind of the people going back and forth on it. It's like, just It's not a real trading card. So of course, it's not a real trading card.
Right.
We're a photo booth industry. We're not a manufacturer.
Right.
Did you know you can actually have like the real double-sided printed with the thick cardstock? But it's expensive. Like the printer for that is like between $2 and $3 grand just for the printer.
Right.
And what it does, it's got this tray that pulls out,
Mm-hmm.
and you put the cards in there. And I'm sure the software is kind of complicated. But this is just what I've done my research and found out that's how they're doing it. But I think maybe like 8 or 16 or some kind of even number. It's like a grid.
Right.
But it's just, that's great if you're working with a major corporation,
Mm-hmm.
and they absolutely want perfection. But I think I'm gonna say 90% of our events, folding the card is absolutely fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. And these cards are going to go into a case, and you're going to put your sticker on it. And if you are a real card aficionado, you never take the card out of the case. And in most instances, people aren't going to unpeel it to take out the card. The
Right.
gimmick is the case, right? And you just
Right.
maybe a kid who's like a toddler messing with it would open up the case, but I'm not out there to impress the 3-year-old toddler,
No.
2-year-old toddler. Yeah.
No. The case alone, I think, is what kind of makes it very unique and cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I did it for a couple events, and people went crazy over it. As soon as one person saw that another one had a case, they were flocking over to
Right.
get their trading cards. But again, it's kind of like the Roamer in the sense that, or even the Sketchbots. It's hard until you actually touch it and feel it to understand what it is,
Mhm.
because not everybody is a card aficionado,
Right.
or we're into trading cards. So that's something I got to put out there. I want to put the Sketchbots in there again and kind of repush these things. There's some other things that I've seen kind of popping up AI wise that I think are really cool, and I wanted to get your opinion on them. And somebody brought it up in the post we did on the Photo Booth Network promoting tonight.
Yep.
There's 2 things that I think are going to start popping up more so. I mean, we're in our own little photo booth bubble, right? So we all know in the groups, but the general public is giving us some indications of some things that are coming. And I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, "Oh, I've been doing this for years." Great, you've been doing this for years. I'm happy for you, but a lot of us haven't. So I'm going to go into here and looking for Chat GPT. So there's 2 things that have been kind of bubbling up to the top.
Yep.
One,
I've seen these.
right? I saw them too, and I thought they were actually real. I thought people were making these figurine
I
things.
thought that too. I really
I
did.
just kind of scrolled by. I didn't pay attention to it, but now
Right.
it was made apparent that ChatGPT, you can put in a prompt to generate your own like figurine looking like photo
Right.
that looks like your figurine with the little accessories in a package. So they've got that. You literally put into the ChatGPT this prompt: create a picture of me as a 3D action figure toy, as if it were displayed in a transparent plastic packaging, blister packaging model. So I was going to try this before the show. I didn't have a chance. I got busy. But yeah, look at these things. And if you guys are listening, you'll have to come to the video to watch it. But it looks pretty cool. I would love if we had some way to make these at an event, but that would take like hours upon hours. So this is not a scalable type of item for a physical figurine, but at least from an image perspective, this is neat with AI. Dave has left, so I'm going to keep going. I've pitched him off. No, just kidding. The other thing somebody else brought up was, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this, is Ghibli style images. This Studio Ghibli, it's a new thing that's showing up on TikTok. And essentially what this one is this artistic style by this anime style artist, where you can put your image into ChatGPT and it will prompt these out. So this is a new TikTok thing that's coming out. So I'm sure if you're on it, you could probably sell it to some Comic Cons. But this is pretty cool. Like it says turnkey or turkey. It's an interesting concept here. Those are just a few of the things that we've seen on ChatGPT. And Dave is back.
Yep. Sorry about that. My internet dropped out.
That's all right. So this is what I was talking about. This Ghibli studio. You've seen that? Now, do you know of any software that's able to do this?
Not yet, but I'm sure someone's working on integrating something like that.
Yeah, it's through ChatGPT. You can do it. I tested it out. I took like a photo from one of my photo booths. It took like 1.5 to 2 minutes for ChatGPT to process it, though.
Right.
So this is the new thing that's showing up on TikTok. Apparently, it's going to be a new little popular thing. That look, there's the Will Smith slap, right?
That's
Ghibli
awesome.
style. Michael Jordan,
right?
Slam dunk. The person who holds all the cards.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah, keep going, keep going. Steve Jobs, but you get the idea. These are literally you just upload whatever photo you want.
Right.
You tell ChatGPT to give me the prompt, and in about 1.5 minutes. These are crazy.
Yeah.
I think you get the idea. So that's something that's new. I did try because I wasn't sure. I've been using Pictor and testing that out, and you can do custom prompts in there, but I wasn't able to get that style through Pictor. I guess the next thing is to see if Snappic has that capability. I don't know.
Right.
So, but man, these softwares are getting inundated with all this, how fast everything is just progressing with AI. I don't know how they keep up, man.
The AI is getting so much faster and smarter that it's really becoming its own little monster, I think, right now too.
I mean, how I don't want to scare our friends, but how far into the future is ChatGPT just going to come out with their own photo booth software, or Apple?
Right.
Hey Siri, open up my photo booth thing, and Siri just went off now. And give me Ghibli style experience right now. Boom, photo booth, and print it to this printer over here.
Yeah.
How far are we off from that? Because at that point, we're kind of out of business.
Yeah. Listen, the industry has changed technology wise so much. Even from 5 years ago.
It has.
I remember, when iPad software booths weren't even available yet, like when they first came out. I remember that. And everybody kept saying, oh, that's not going to last. It's just iPad stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but I accidentally asked Siri asked her. And when I said that earlier, just like open up my photo booth app, it opened up booth.events.
Right.
On my phone. It's crazy. It's going to happen.
Right.
So, we talked about a lot of stuff tonight, and we're only 40 minutes in. Yep.
Yeah.
You got any other questions from the peanut gallery out there? I mean, people watching.
Well, you know what? I was looking. Pete mentioned to also update your Google business profile.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
If you're doing stuff, for your website, you should
also
also
do it the right way. Yeah.
You should also be doing your Google business.
Yes. This is a tough one. Okay. So let me break it down. So Google, in their ultimate wisdom, thinks. Now, in San Francisco, George Velasco went and visited a couple actual photo booth stores. That is 1% of the photo booth rental industry, the photo booth industry. That's 1%. So if you're not familiar with Google business profiles, you have to pick a category as your primary category, like what type of business you are, whether it be an electrician, whether it be a plumber, whether it be a yoga instructor, whether it be a DJ, whether it be a party rental service, a photographer, a photo booth rental company, right? So there is a category, photo booth. In Google's ultimate wisdom, they think that the photo booth category is where you actually go to a place of business for a photo booth to use it, which there's like 1% of the businesses in the country have that. So it's kind of a, we can spit spat about it all day long, but to us, that means photo booth,
Right.
rental, right?
Yep.
So a lot of us have adopted that photo booth category as our primary category. Now, the tough part is most of us do not have a brick and mortar store where people come to use our photo booth. And Google thinks that you're supposed to be a brick and mortar store, which they require you to show your address if you pick that as your primary category. And if you pick that as your primary category and you're showing your address, they then require you to do a video walkthrough of your business, of signage on your building,
right,
equipment, set up in your place, the whole 9 yards, paperwork, tax documents. Now we had a Jason Brown on last summer, who's our Google business profile expert. He's the Google business profile whisperer is what he is.
Right.
And I have another meeting with him tomorrow to discuss this again, to put more pressure on Google to adjust this freaking category, because in Southern California and LA, a shit ton of photo booth companies' profiles got suspended, probably because they had the photo booth category and they were showing their business, but was actually their house. I'm guessing that's what the big problem is, and I'm assuming that's what it is. So
right,
when Peter talked about optimizing your Google business profile, it's not only that you have to pick the right category, which my recommendation and Jason Brown's recommendation, and then I'm pretty sure Peter would say the same thing. Actually, he did in that walkthrough video, is pick photography service or pick party rental service, or one of those two categories, because those are acceptable for
right.
us to not get suspended. So
Okay.
that's the first thing that you got to do. But then filling out your complete profile, your hours of operation, your phone number, your website, a description, photos, is all the fields that you can possibly fill out. You want to make sure they're filled out. Now, there's another part, which is updates, or like the posts. There are arguments on the updates / posts. Like if you give an update, like, hey, we've added a new service, or hey, we were just at an event, and like almost
Right.
like a social media post, part of the Google business profile.
Yep.
Some people say that does have SEO juice and an effect on your SEO, and some people say it doesn't. I have the people that say that it doesn't are the ones that are on Search Engine Journal or Search Engine Land. These are authoritative folks in the search engine industry.
Yep.
But then there's a couple people I know. One of our friends in like the Detroit area says he swears it does. But I don't know. So it doesn't hurt to post, because at the very least it helps you take up more space on Google and gives you more information about your business, and at least can help with click-throughs to your website.
Right.
So I think the jury's still out, and we're always going to argue whether these posts on Google business profiles will actually legitimately help your SEO, or if it's just there to help with click-through rates when they do see it. So, but post. My recommendation is, if you got an update, put an update. So that's something, that a little piece of information we can all take from that. But yeah, Peter, absolutely right. Complete that profile on Google business profiles, because I'll tell you, about 80% of my new business comes from Google business profiles. At least 80%. I was looking at my data the other day, and it's even just traffic to the website comes from that. So, and Dave, how many reviews do you have in your Google business profile?
I have maybe 20 or 30.
20 or 30.
But I actually had some that disappeared.
Yeah, it's happening again, by the way.
Yeah.
You've got 25.
Okay.
You should have way more than that.
I should, and my problem is I don't get after my customers enough because I have after the event, they get an email with the links for like everything for the photos and whatnot, and it asks for them to do a Google review.
Yeah, they're not reading that.
No.
Here's a method that I have done since May of last year, and I have more than doubled my Google reviews by doing this method. All right, so
listen, I'm not going to send them, pictures of me
no,
flashing.
No, not at all. No, just partial. Just partial. No. So you're at 25 right now. All right. So this is your goal for the next 2 weeks. I want you to do this.
Okay.
How many events do you have coming up the next 2 weeks?
Next 2 weeks, I think I have around 15 events.
Cool. I would expect you to come back in 2 weeks and tell me, Art, I got at least 7. So at least half of those. And then use this method. All right. So after the event is done, the next day or so, you're putting stuff up on SmugMug, right?
Yep.
And then you're going to email the client the link to the photos, right?
Yep.
Okay. So just do that. Don't ask for the review right then and there.
Okay.
Once they get their stuff, do they usually say thank you? We had a good time?
Yes.
Okay. So now they've already looked at the photos. They said, thank you. We've had a good time. Once they respond back, your next step is to say, thank you. We had such a great time. By the way, can I ask a favor? I'm at 25 reviews right now. I'm trying to get to 30 by May. Can you help me get to 30? Here's my review link.
Right. Okay.
And that method has just kind of resonated with the people I send it out to and has increased my reviews. I've doubled my reviews in almost a year.
Okay.
Just by doing that method, because now they're focused on that initial email is great. Here's my photos. And they're looking, and they've forgotten about your email. They got what they wanted. But then they do send a thank you. And it's that thank you message that you've got that now you've gotten rid of that link and you're sending one more back to them. So you kind of say, oh yeah, glad you had a good time. Nudge, nudge. Can you help me out? I'm at 25 reviews. Can you help me get to 30? I just need, 5 more reviews by May. So try that over the next 2 weeks and see if that works.
Sure. I will give that a shot.
Okay. So, all right. Peanut Gallery. Anything else in the Peanut Gallery?
Let me take a look here and see.
Because if not, I think we can call up quits for the night. And we've just thrown up on everybody with lots of information. Yes, I have.
I'll tell you what, though, we dropped a lot of really good information.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. And Dave, you froze again. You can call Iceman. Dave, I'm going to call you Iceman. I swear. This is awesome. All right. Well, folks, I think we're going to call it a night. We're almost at 1 full hour. Thank you so much. We have a very special guest next week. Everybody knows this guy. Everybody comments about this guy and his amazing company. Brian Ginsberg from PB Backdrops is going to be on next week. So we're going to have PB Backdrops on talking to us about everything with photo booth backdrops and everything else that they've got. I think we're going to wait just another. Dave, you're killing me, man. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Brian, we'll see you next week, and it should be an awesome show. Hope you guys have some great events this weekend. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about on next show, feel free to drop some comments into the video. This will also be available on YouTube, and I'll probably be shooting out the link to that tomorrow. Have a great night and a great week, everybody.